Senga did start out the game with a 1-2-3 inning. So he was able to get Nootbaar and Donovan. Let's see, who else? Contreras was still hitting second. So Nootbaar, Contreras, and Donovan went down in the first. Just 7 pitches from Senga, 3 outs recorded. No strikeouts in the first, all balls in play, and it'll be Liberatore versus the Mets here in the bottom half. For this one, this game's on TV, so I'm not going to do play-by-play necessarily, as everyone should be able to watch along. It's a TV game, a really easy one to get. It is Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Vientos, Marte, Nimmo, Torrens, Acuna, and Asokar. So Acuna's in the lineup now at second base. He hadn't been starting for the rest of this series, so that's a change. In the outfield, you have Nimmo, Asokar, and Soto, with Marte at DH. And then it's Alonso, Acuna, Lindor, and Vientos in the infield, with Torrens behind the plate. First pitch to Lindor is in there for a strike. Cardinals defense has Nootbaar in right, Donovan in left, and Scott in center, which means Sajaci and Gorman are in the middle infield, as Liberatore misses low. Arenado at third, Contreras at first, and Pozo behind the plate. 1-1 now on Lindor. Lindor coming off that walk-off homer. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A great sinker from Liberatore, right below the barrel of Lindor. I'll probably just do play-by-play until there's anybody in here, which may or may not happen, you know. Let's see how this looks. Nice. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Beautiful slider low and in on Lindor, and he goes down for the first out of the first. Liberatore already picking up his first strikeout on just 4 pitches. And now it's Juan Soto. Here's the first pitch. In there for a strike. Beautiful slider there. Liberatore has some good command of his stuff so far in this one. Looks like some perfectly placed pitches. Another pitch to Soto, fouled back, 0-2. So getting ahead of the hitters early. Big game for the Cardinals here. You don't want to fall behind 3-0. All right. The chat is open if you would like to type anything in. Soto not having a great series, but has drawn some important walks. Hitting .225 on the season. The third pitch to him, up and away, 1-2. The pitch from Liberatore. Chopped to the right side, easy play for Gorman, and he makes the throw to Contreras for the second out. So 2 down on 8 pitches there from Liberatore, and that'll bring up Pete Alonso. Alonso ranked first in the league in OPS, as Liberatore misses low, 1-0. The pitch, swing and a miss. Change up outside, got him swinging. 1-1. Slider caught the outside corner there. Alonso took it, and now there's 2 strikes on him. Mets wearing some cool helmets in this one, showing a little bridge there. And here is the 1-2 from Liberatore. Chopped foul on the slider, and we'll do it again. These are their City Connects for New York City. A little bit of purple under this one, with purple on the top of their caps as well. Popped up. Easy play for Contreras at first. Gorman will make the call and the catch. So the experienced second baseman making sure that that catch is made. And we're through the first with no base runners for either side. It'll be Arenado, Burleson, and Sajasi versus Senga in the second. So let's take a look at what Senga has been up to and get this stuff off the screen. Oh, whoops. There we go. So Senga's been elite this season. 1.06 ERA with a 1 whip, 16 strikeouts in 17 innings. And 2 seasons ago, he showed off that forkball, the ghost fork. He had a 2.98 ERA in that season, 29 starts, 202 strikeouts for a 1.22 whip. So you can expect very similar in this season. He's at the 77th percentile in pitching run value this season, 90th on the off speed, so that's probably that fork. And let's see what he did in 23. Boom, 94th percentile overall, 98th with the fastball, and 93rd with the off speed. So you love to see that. Walks, he does walk a lot of hitters, it looks like. Let's see if that has held steady this year. No, he has not walked a lot of guys this season. So if he keeps that up, that would be excellent for him. Much fewer base runners given the free pass. More guys that have to earn it. We can look at, well, I guess Cardinals hitters would be a better thing to look at here. Burleson, Sajasi, Arenado, but we already kind of know what those guys are up to. Although the game's not back yet, so we'll take a look. I have been curious about the fielding this year. Okay, he has 1 out above average. 80th percentile, and then 3 batting runs for 78th percentile. Doesn't strike out at all. So pretty good. I guess 2 outs above average, but 1 fielding run. Okay. Still super slow. No surprises from Arenado. I'm sure it's back by now. Yep. Here we go. The first pitch to Arenado. Top of the zone, but a check swing foul ball. 0-1. Here's the second pitch from Senga. Slider low and away, hit high in the air to right field. Easy play, and it's made by Soto. So 1 down here in the top of the second, but I had to get live, so here's the first pitch to Burleson. A little up and away, 1-0. Burleson hitting .263 with a .627 OPS. So still trying to find that first homer. As Senga misses outside, 2-0. This game is available on TV. But if you are checking in, please chat with me about it, as I'd love to do that. Here's the 2-0. Up and away, and it's 3-0 on Burleson. So, Sajasi on deck. Burleson likely to reach here. The 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike at the bottom of the zone. So all bets are off now. Burleson could be swinging away here. Cardinals wearing their baby blues. Everyone loves to see these uniforms. The 3-1 pitch from Senga. Perfectly placed fastball at the bottom of the zone. That could set up the fork. And it's a 3-2 count. Here's the pitch to Burleson. Throws another fastball, fouled away, still 3-2. Fastball and the fork tunnel very well for Senga, but might be something a good hitter could recognize. Here's the 3-2. The fork in the dirt. Burleson is able to recognize it and take it for ball 4, and there's one on with one out in the second. So that'll bring up Thomas Sajasi. Starting today at shortstop, he's hitting .423 with a .984 OPS. These numbers get more and more impressive as the sample size grows. He continues to find a way to get a single each time I watch him. First pitch to Sajasi. Hard hit ball deep to right field, and it is down in the right field corner. Burleson on his way to third, and Sajasi has a one-out double. So the Cardinals have runners on second and third with one out here. Still no score here in the top of the second, and that will bring up Nolan Gorman. But first, let's look at what Sajasi did. Just saw the fastball, waited for it to get there, and drove it the other way. Didn't quite get the barrel to it, but found the right spot in the stadium, hit it hard, and Soto had to range over to make that play, and that is why he was able to get extra bases. Just a well-placed baseball, pretty hard hit. And here's the first pitch to Gorman. Upstairs with the cutter, just a little high, 1-0. Gorman hitting .263 with a .901 OPS and one homer this year. The 1-0 pitch. He's the ghost fork. He did not go. 2-0. Tried to make the ball disappear there. But Gorman saw it coming, and it's a 2-0 count advantage for him. The third pitch to Gorman from Senga. Throws another fork. That time Gorman went after it. 2-1. So Gorman didn't see that one coming. Was hoping to get that inside fastball and drive it somewhere. Instead, he went around. Really incredible pitch from Senga there. Just disappeared. Here's the 2-1. Another fork, and Gorman goes down trying to get it. 2-2. So Senga just using the best tool in his box is trying to work Gorman down and get that strikeout because he really needs one here. The 2-2 pitch to Nolan Gorman from Senga. There was another forkball, and he swings and misses. Another check swing. He did go around this time, and there's 2 on with 2 outs here for Yohel Pozo. So great job by Senga in that at-bat. Did not lose patience. Went right after Gorman. Is this lined up? Oh, it's not quite lined up. First pitch inside to Pozo, 1-0. Pozo, pretty short, very, very small batter's box as he hits one into center field. And that's an easy play. It hung up for Asokar in center. And that is 3 outs for the Mets. So the Cardinals strand 2. We go to the bottom of the second, tied at 0. So that's another frustrating one if you're a Cardinals fan. When you have a runner on third and less than 2 outs, you really hope to be able to get him in, but Gorman was unable to resist the ghost fork. And when you need someone who's not going to strike out, Gorman's not really your guy. It's not the right spot for him. If the bases were loaded, I would have liked Gorman a lot more because pitchers feel like they have to put it in the zone. Instead, we had a strikeout. So let's take a look at Marte, because he just came in. I don't think he has a great sample size on him. We can look at Nimmo as well. Start with Nimmo. Good base running, not quite great hitting the ball, although he does have a 648 OPS, so 17th percentile seems a little low for that. It is Nimmo, it is Marte. What has Marte been up to? He's not qualified this season. No batting run value anyway. But what has he been up to? A lot of good base running. Not great fielding, not great hitting. Last season had a 715 OPS, so not awful, but definitely not providing a lot of value. So it should be easy work for Liberatore, but you never know what his splits are against lefties. He did have a very good expected batting average, as he's always been a high batting average guy. Can we get splits, lefties and righties? I don't know where that would be on here. Guess not. That's all right. The game is back, so let's get back to that. All right, the first pitch now to Vientos is low. Vientos has 2 home runs in this series. One of them to right, one of them to left. He was able to get around on one to left field yesterday. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Liberatore. Swing and a miss. Change up outside. And it's 1-1. Vientos hitting 171 with a 580 OPS. We've seen that number climb over the course of this series. Here is the 1-1. Low and in with the slider. 2-1 on Vientos. The 2-1 pitch is low in the dirt with a slider, and it's 3-1. So Liberatore unable to find the zone so far. (3-1) hit hard to left side of the field, but Arenado's there, and there's 1 out in the second. So Liberatore gets some help there from Vientos as he goes down to try to get that pitch, pulls it over to the Gold Glove third baseman, and there's 1 out in the second. That'll bring up Starling Marte. We just looked at his numbers. 599 OPS. Not providing a whole lot of value offensively outside of the base running. But today he hits a high fly ball to center, but Victor Scott is there. And there's 2 outs. That was a fastball right down the middle. A different hitter might have been able to crush that ball, but Marte unable to. Just popped it up. Easy fly ball to center. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Brandon Nimmo, who has a 648 OPS, which is a little bit low, but you expect him to pull it back up pretty soon here. Hitting just 197, which is low for him. Does have 4 home runs this season. First pitch is below the zone, 1-0. So Liberatore on pitch 21 here. In the second. Nimmo goes after the slider there, goes around, 1-1. So that was a slider in the dirt. Surprised he decided to chase that. The 1-1 pitch Ground ball to the right side, foul, 1-2. Liberatore's been a left-handed pitcher in the Cardinals system for a long time. He was traded back in 2019 for Randy Arozarena, right before that big postseason for Arozarena in Tampa Bay. So everyone kind of said the Cardinals automatically lose that trade, no matter what Liberatore becomes, but if he can develop into a solid starter, a lot of that value could be recouped. Slider fouled away there, 2-2 on Nimmo. That ball was fouled off of Pozo's mask, so everyone making sure he's okay. It looks like he is. And Liberatore gets set to deliver the 2-2. Hard hit ball up the middle for a base hit for Nimmo. So he starts to pick it back up with a single here. And that'll bring up Luis Torrens, the catcher for the Mets. Just went the other way with that one, let it travel. Put it where the defense couldn't get it. Nice single for Nimmo. First pitch to Torrens. Missed outside with a changeup, 1-0. First base runner for the Mets was Nimmo. As Liberatore misses inside with a cutter, it falls behind 2-0 now. The City Connect uniforms for the Mets with the orange armbands actually looks pretty cool. You have purple, gray, and orange all in the picture. The 2-0 pitch. Slider popped foul, 2-1. It's almost like Gotham City themed. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball outside, fouled away again, 2-2. So 2 outs, 2-2 pitch. Runner on first for Luis Torrens. The pitch from Liberatore. Check swing, he did go around, and that's the end of the second inning. Another strikeout for Liberatore. That is his second of the game. And it'll be Victor Scott, Lars Nootbaar, and Wilson Contreras for the Cardinals in the third. I'm sure we could get some more data on Senga right now, so that's what I'm going to do. First of all, we could get the baseball reference. Some more baseline stats on him. 0.5 WAR, 1.106 ERA this season. We knew he was doing pretty well this year, but the WAR was at 4.5 in 2023. Led the league in wild pitches, so that's not always great. Tough for the catchers to see the ghost pitch too, I guess. Was an all-star that year. His OPS against was at 627, which is pretty incredible. This year it's only at 562, and it was actually even lower in the one game of 2024 that he pitched. So that's not a great sample. Did pitch in the postseason, but gave up a homer. Definitely wasn't himself. And then I could probably find the pitch mix as well. But the game's probably coming back pretty soon here. Not quite. So obviously here's the pitch mix. 4-seam, fork, cutter, sweeper. But I want to look at the value. So the splitter, they're calling it a splitter, has the most value for him so far this year. Then the sweeper, sinker, I guess that's it, are tied for secondary most value. So I guess we need some sample size for that to build up, but let's get back to the game. Victor Scott steps up to the plate and grounds one foul to the first base side, 0-1. If you're on YouTube, I do read the chat if you have anything to say. Obviously, we're early in this one. Nothing super crazy has happened yet. The 0-1 way up and away, 1-1 on Scott. A lot of the value is just going to be from chatting between innings, especially with a nationally televised game like this one. As Scott swings under that pitch, 1-2. Senga is set. Here's the 1-2. Way up and away. Past the catcher off of the backstop, and it's 2-2 now on Scott. So there's one of those potential wild pitches. Obviously, there was nobody on, so that one's not as big of a deal. Here's the 2-2. Through the fork ball, gets popped up. Easy play at third base for Vientos, and he makes the catch. So 1 out in the third, and that'll bring us back to the top of the Cardinals order with Lars Nootbaar. So Nootbaar hitting .260 this year, an .818 OPS with 3 homers. 0 for 1 with a flyout in the first, but has walked a lot this season. So if he sees pitches, he'll extend the heck out of an at-bat. Senga starts him out with a perfect sweeper right on the outside edge for strike 1. Here's the second pitch. Cutter right below Nootbaar's barrel, 0-2. So the delay on that pitch got to Nootbaar. He swung right over it, thinking it was a fastball. Here's the 0-2. Goes low and away with the fastball, not quite high enough. 1-2 on Nootbaar. I like the idea from Senga there. Try to bluff the fork and just freeze him. But he didn't find it. And there's a cut right over the fork ball for the strikeout. So 2 out now with nobody on in the third. That'll bring up Wilson Contreras. First pitch to Contreras. Slider popped up. Lindor makes the call and the catch. So we're through 3 with just 1 hit for the Cardinals. 0-0 headed to the bottom of the third. I'm going to take a look at Luis Acuna and Jose Azocar. I haven't dove deep into their stats. So 96th percentile on base running, about average as a hitter. That's pretty good. He was well above average as a hitter in just 40 plate appearances last season, so it's about equal in that category. 98th percentile in sprint speed. Hasn't added any value on the fielding front quite yet. Let's see if he did last year. He did. He added 3 outs above average. So a good all-around player in Acuna for sure. And then we can look at a SOCAR. So a SOCAR not quite qualified for batting run value, but he's at -5 anyway. Does have 1 run produced on the base paths and 1 on defense. So a good defensive player for them, probably a defensive replacement, and a pinch runner, 91st percentile in speed. It's a nice thing to have on your roster. Those two will be facing Liberatore here in the 3rd inning. All right. Cunha steps up to the plate. First pitch from Liberatore is hard hit ball to right field into the gap. Scott chases it down, but well too slow to prevent a double. And it's an easy stand-up double for Luis Angel Acuna. So let's make sure this is not showing too much. All right, nobody out. First pitch from Liberatore. Popped foul by a SOCAR, and it's 0-1. This is the way I want it to be sitting, like this. All right. The 0-1 pitch to a SOCAR. Fastball down the middle, fouled away, 0-2. Newt Bar waiting. The 0-2 pitch to Jose Azocar. Curveball bounced to the left side. Sajasi makes the play, and there's 1 out. No advance by the runner. So a good job by Liberatore getting that out, keeping the runner at second as he chopped to the left side. First pitch to Francisco Lindor is curveball in the dirt, 0-1. You know, curveballs in the dirt don't seem to work anymore in baseball, is what I'm noticing. Hitters just have too good of an eye for that anymore. Here's the 1-0. Hard grounder to the left side. Arenado makes the grab. And there's 2 outs now here in the 3rd, so 1 more to get. Acuna still waiting on second, and it'll bring up Juan Soto against Liberatore. Soto is 0 for 1. Average sits at 222 with 3 homers and a 767 OPS on the year. Great job by Arenado there to look Acuna back. Make sure that he just makes the play to first. First pitch misses low and away to Juan Soto, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to Soto. Fastball grounded off of Pozo. In foul territory, 1-1. Acuna on second. The pitch to Soto. Ground ball, a through for the base hit, and the Mets will go up 1-0 here in the third. Acuna easily comes around to score. And Soto delivers when they need a single the most. So great job by Soto. Hard hit ball right through the hole. Cardinals didn't have anyone up the middle, and it cost them. That was just a hanging curveball right up the middle. Soto knew exactly what to do with it and just poked it on the ground through the hole. That'll bring up Pete Alonso with Soto on first. The first pitch is in there for a strike. Slider at the top of the zone, 0-1. Soto doing what he does best. Here's the 0-1. Misses low with a changeup. 1-1. I like the pitch idea there. Trying to get Alonso to chase, as he would probably want to take advantage of this momentum. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball hit to center field into the gap, and it'll get to the wall. So Scott has to make the grab, and they're sending Soto to the plate. The throw not made, and it's 2-0 Mets in the third. Pete Alonso delivers, and that's the second run of the inning. So Liberatore gave in and threw a high fastball, and Alonso stuck out the barrel of the bat and drove it into the gap in left center. It looked like that was a play that the center fielder might be able to make, but because of the shape of Citi Field, it was a gap shot and an easy double for Alonso. Obviously, that was always a hit. I was just saying, sometimes you can cut that off and prevent the run from scoring. Right on the barrel. Great job by Alonso there. The Cardinals having a meeting on the mound. Dusty Blake and Liberatore. And Liberatore will have to face Vientos now in the third. First pitch missed, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is popped up over to second base. Gorman makes the call and the catch. And we're through 3, but the Mets did take a 2-0 lead in that inning on a Soto single and an Alonso double. It'll be Donovan, Arenado, and Burleson against Senga in the fourth. So the Cardinals' best part of their lineup coming up. With a chance to get back in this one. I mean, is Donovan up amongst the best at this point? 95th percentile in batting value. Four on the changeup, 4 on the fastball. 2 on the split finger, actually. So if that behaves similar to the ghost fork, then Donovan might be a good candidate for this game against Senga. He's been good on the base paths, good in the field, and good hitting the ball. Highest expected batting average in baseball. And 95th percentile and outs above average. So doing everything despite a 33rd percentile sprint speed. All right, Senga back out there, and here's Brendan Donovan. First pitch, fastball inside, 1-0. Steven Matt's interview going on. Hard hit ball foul, 1-1. Donovan went down for that sweeper, pulled it, foul. The 1-1 pitch to Donovan. Fastball hit hard the other way, but an incredible leaping catch made by Jose Vientos. Or is it Mark? Whatever his name is. Vientos made that catch. Truly an incredible play. Looked like that was going to be extra bases for Donovan, but instead it's the first out of the fourth. Here comes Arenado. First pitch to Nolan is inside with the changeup. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch way up and in with the fastball, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball above the zone, 2-1 now. The 2-1 pitch. Slider hung out there, popped out of play, 2-2. Arenado hitting 292. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss on the ghost fork. So he swung right over that one. And it's the third strikeout of the game for Senga. So 2 outs, nobody on for Alec Burleson in the fourth. Mets looking like they're going to coast in this one for the next few innings, unless Sajasi and Gorman can get something going next inning. Pitch to Burleson. That was right down the middle with a cutter, and Burleson did not go. It's 0-1. He did not swing, is what I mean. The 0-1 pitch is inside with the cutter, 1-1. So Burleson's seen one. We'll see what he has here. The 1-1 pitch is low and away, fouled back, 1-2. Burleson did walk earlier in this one. The 1-2 pitch above the zone, fouled over and out of play. Still 1-2. So Burleson's first at-bat of this one, unless he's able to draw another walk. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Senga. Fork in the dirt, 2-2. He's able to see another fork in the dirt, and the count is now full on Burleson. So from 1-2 to 3-2. We'll see if Burleson has something in store for us here with 2 outs and nobody on. The 3-2 pitch to Burleson. Fastball above the zone, popped up. Shallow left field. And the play is made by Nimmo. So through 4, the Cardinals just have the 1 hit. No runs to show for it. And it is 2-0. New York. It'll be Marte, Nimmo, and Torrens in the 4th. All right, let's see. Nothing else really I want to check. Maybe we could do some quizzes. I mean, Liberatore's on 44 pitches, so we're going to see both of these pitchers for much longer. Yeah, I don't know the World Series MVPs very well. Let's see if I can find something better. NBA team's last MVP. This actually sounds fun. Let's do this with MLB. All 30 have had an MVP. That's great. Never mind, 3 of them haven't. So there you go. Diamondbacks, Mets, and Rays. The Braves in 2023. Is it Acuna or Freeman? I'm going to go with... Well, actually, it has to be Acuna. Because Freeman was gone, but Freeman probably won it. Nope. He only won it with the Braves, so that sucks for him. Harper won it with 2 teams. The Cardinals in 2022. That's going to be Goldschmidt. Despite a great season from Arenado. 2001. Must be Ichiro. Giants in 2012 is Posey. Padres, is that Gwynn? No. Yeah, I don't know then. Pirates in 13 is McCutcheon. I'm going to type in Jackson and Johnson just in case. Nothing there. Did Ripken? He did. Okay. Red Sox 2018. Mookie. Chicago Cubs is Bryant. White Sox 2020. Abreu? Yep. Reds 2010. Votto. 19. I'm not going to be able to get 1950s. Walker. Yep. Verlander. No. Okay, Cabrera, the Triple Crown winner. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Thank goodness. All right. 2017 Altuve. 1980 Royals. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get that. Trout. Oh, Ohtani. Whoops. Brewers. Burns didn't win it, so yell it. And we already got Ohtani, so let's stop right there. I'm sure the game is back. Got carried away there. As it's 0-1 on Marte from Liberatore. I'm going to catch us up real quick between pitches. Here's the 0-1. Strike 1 with the slider. Nice pitch. Strike 2, I mean. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss over the slider, so Liberatore picks up his 3rd strikeout of the game. And that brings up Brandon Nimmo. First pitch to Nimmo. Swing and a miss over the slider, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slider in the dirt, 0-2. So a great job there from Liberatore. Pitch missed low with the slider, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Nimmo. Ground ball foul. We'll do it again. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Curveball that time. So playing the curveball off of the slider, the extra movement got Nimmo to swing over it, and there's 2 outs in the 4th. So that's a really good use for the curveball. Pull it out after a couple sliders, get that same upward movement, but drop it further down before it reaches the zone. And he tried to hit Torrens with the get me over curveball, but was unable to find the zone. 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to Torrens is a fastball inside, 1-1. And we're live. The 1-1 pitch, chopped foul, 1-2. So we are back with the in real time here, with a 1-2 count on Luis Torrens. Kind of fun to watch the game and fast forward like that, but obviously it means you're behind, which isn't always fun. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside with the cutter, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch was a curveball outside. He missed, and it's a full count now on Torrens. So Liberatore getting set. Here's the 3-2. Popped deep to right field, but out of play. So it's still 3-2 on Torrens. Pretty good at bat from Torrens, fouling off some stuff. See if he can draw a walk here. The full count pitch. He is a fastball, blew it by him for another strikeout for Matthew Liberatore. So through 4, it's still 2-0 Mets. It'll be Sajasi, Gorman, and Pozo for the Cardinals in the 5th. Liberatore has 5 strikeouts in 4 innings, just those 2 earned runs in this one for either team. Senga's ERA all the way down at 0.86 on the year, showing off that value. And let's get back to these most recent MVPs. All right, 2017 Marlins is Stanton. 2009 Twins, sounds like Mauer to me. It is. Yankees, 2024 is Judge. 2002 A's. Ooh, that's on the Moneyball team. Was it Die? No. Okay, great. Well, yep. I should know that. I don't know that. Let's go to 2010. That's going to be Hamilton. Blue Jays is Bautista? Nope. Halliday? Did he do that? No. He was on the Phillies. He was retired by then. Wow. I don't think it would be Price. Oh, I know who it is. It's Donaldson. Forgot he won one. All right. So that A's team. That is difficult. I mean, I'm going to type Brett just to see. Okay, sweet. Yeah, we'll see. Let's get back to the game. It's not quite live. First pitch to Thomas Sajasi. is a cutter right down the middle for strike one. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball up in the zone, driven the other way, deep to right field. Soto trying to drift back, and it is down for a double off the wall. And Sajaci will stop at second with a double. So a great job by Sajaci driving one out to deep right. Looked like it could have been gone, but Soto was just playing a little too far in. And Sajaci with another extra base hit. So he keeps hitting. It's going to be a tough guy to get rid of in this roster. So there's one on now in scoring position with nobody out for Nolan Gorman. Hopefully he can avoid that strikeout bug against this incredible ghost fork. Here's the pitch to Gorman. Inside, in the dirt, and it did not hit Gorman. And Sajaci reaches third base on a wild pitch. So I did not know if that hit Gorman or not. It bounced right by his leg. Turned out that it just leapt up off of the ground, and now Sajaci is in prime position to score on third with nobody out. The 1-0 pitch. Upstairs, fouled back, 1-1. That was a great pitch by Senga. Previous one just looked like it was going to hit him, but it did not. Now we're in the fifth, the 1-1. Forkball on the outside corner, 1-2. So Gorman down in the count again. Trying not to strike out, trying to pick up an RBI and get the Cardinals back in this game with Sajaci on third. Nobody holding him on. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball up and away, 2-2 now on Gorman. Gorman settling back in. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Throws the ghost fork, and Gorman swings right over it for a strikeout. That's the fourth of the game for Senga. And now there's one out with the runner on third in the fifth. For Yohel Pozo. What a pitch by Senga. Almost no spin at all on that forkball. And somehow Gorman could not detect it. Just goes down, swings right over it. First pitch to Pozo is the forkball at the top of the zone this time, 0-1. As Mets fans post ghost fork pictures for every strikeout. It's pretty sweet. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Pozo. He goes four-seam way above the zone. Pozo goes up to try to hit it, but fouls it back, and it's 0-2. So Gorman's been swinging right over the forkball all game. Same thing with Nootbaar. It's a great pitch against lefties. Was also able to get Arenado on that pitch. And now it's 0-2 on Pozo, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it again in a couple pitches here. Here's the 0-2 to Yohel Pozo. They go down in the zone with the fork, but that one was way too obvious. He pulled it down, and it's 1-2. We're hoping to see Pozo put the ball in play here, try to drive in this run. He's hitting .375 on the year with a 1.100 OPS as he drives the forkball foul, and will do it again. Does have a home run. He hit that in Pittsburgh down the left field line. The pitch from Senga to Pozo. Up above the zone, fouled back, still 1-2. Senga is set and delivers. Popped up, foul once again. So a great at-bat by Pozo, trying to stay alive, but we know Senga has a good put-away pitch, so we'll see if he goes back to that. He started him off with 3 out of 4 forkballs, and then he's gone 2 fastballs since, so he pitched a little backwards. Let's see if he tries to go back to it here. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Pozo. Goes back to the forkball. And a great play is made by Vientos at third on the hard grounder to him. He goes to the plate. There's actually Brett Beatty over there now. So let's see what happened. Vientos is just out of the game now. So Brett Beatty made the play at third, threw out Sajasi at the plate, and now there's 2 outs and a runner on third here in the 5th. Sorry, 2 outs and a runner on first. Went straight to the plate on a hard grounder, as Sajasi made an irresponsible decision to go, although maybe not. Maybe you're just expected to go there. First pitch to Scott is in the dirt, 1-0. I guess you do try to score on that if it's a little bit softer, but it was just hit a little too hard for Sajasi to get in there for a run, despite a 2-for-2 start to the game for him. Here's a pitch to Scott, outside, 2-0. So Sajasi really earning that roster spot this season. You expect him to stay up with the big squad all year. The 2-0 pitch to Scott. Fastball up and away, swung right through by Scott, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch now from Senga to Scott. He delivers, and it's outside, 3-1 now. Here is the 3-1 pitch to Scott. Middle outside with the cutter, popped up over to left field, and the play is made by Nimmo. So the Cardinals strand yet another early base runner. Still coming up with nothing in this one. It's 2-0 Mets midway through the 5th. All right. I mean, all right, my computer's going pretty slow here. All right, there we go. If I think about this quiz, who played on that the 2002 Oakland A's? The MVP is pretty much not mentioned in the Moneyball movie from what I remember. But I think it was someone like a Smith or something like that. Like a pretty common name, but a very good player. Once you hear the full name, you know who he is. Let's just take a look at what the answer is, because we don't have that much time. Miguel Tejada, so maybe not a very common name, but yeah, everyone knows who he is. He did win the MVP. He deserved it too, but Ken Caminiti and Al Rosen I would never have been able to get. And Tejada is a name I just didn't remember. Because the 2002 A's always reminds me of the movie Moneyball, and that's only going to be Hatteberg. You know, the guys they lost. Some of those unique players they added, like Justice, but Tejada's not mentioned a whole lot in that movie. I'm sure I could do that similar quiz with some of these other sports. Maybe, I think I could probably do the NBA. We'll get to that. Let's see if the game is back yet. Probably should be. Yep, Liberatore pitching to Acuna. All right, the 2-1 ground ball to shortstop. Play made by Sajasi, and there's one out in the 5th. So that'll bring up Jose Azocar, the center fielder for the Mets. They still lead this one 2-0. Liberatore's 63 pitches into the game. Just a 2-run 3rd inning for the Mets on the board for either team today. The pitch to Azocar popped up, jam shot to right field, and Nootbaar's over to make the catch. 2 outs now in the 5th. So the Cardinals starting Nootbaar in left because Donovan is in... Sorry, Nootbaar in right because Donovan is in left. And Walker would normally be in right, but he is not playing right now. At least today. First pitch to Lindor is a 4-seamer on the outside corner. Strike 1. Liberatore threw a perfect slider at the top of the zone for strike 2, and it's 0-2 on Francisco Lindor. Couple perfect pitches from Liberatore. He's given up all of his earned runs except for 2 in just 3 of his innings on the year. So he's had 3 bad innings and then 20 really, really good innings. 23 strikeouts in those 20 innings and then 0 in the 3 bad innings, where opponents hit .550 and scored 8 runs against him. So you wonder what's causing those innings to pop up and what he can do about that. Or if that's just a numerical situation where there is nothing causing it. It's very possible. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Lindor. Ground ball, chopped to the mound. Lindor is out after Liberatore makes a good spinning throw. So after 5, it is 2-0 Mets, and we go back to the Cardinals. Top of the order, Nootbaar, Contreras, and Donovan. And I will go back to this quiz. The NBA. So Wilkins, is that? No. Great, well that's not good. This is going to be Antetokounmpo. Love. Nope. Great. Well, then it's Garnett. Knicks. Ooh, wow. I don't know. I'm just going to get the recent ones. Westbrook. Embiid. The Suns. Oh, nah. There we go. The Jazz, that's going to be Malone. All right. Okay, I guess Bird must have won one. There we go. That's all the ones for our lifetimes, so I'm just gonna Hit the give up button. Pettit, McAdoo, Willis Reed, Bill Walton, Oscar Robertson. I should add Robertson. I'll admit that. Triple-double king right there. But the rest of them I can live with. That's all right. Senga to Nootbaar as Wainwright enjoys some ballpark food. 2-0. 2-0 pitch is low with the sweeper. 3-0 on Nootbaar, who has walked a lot this season. Uh-oh, a hot dog spilled on Wainwright in the booth. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Nootbaar. Up and away. Ooh, they called a strike. That was ball 4. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Senga. Fastball right down the middle for strike 2. So Nootbaar's not getting bailed out. He's going to have to face at least one competitive pitch here, even though he should have walked. Here is the 3-2 pitch from Senga. Goes up and away, that time way outside, and it's ball 4. So Nootbaar earns the walk that he rightfully deserves. And there's one on with nobody out in the 6th. That'll bring up Wilson Contreras. Still having a rough season. 0 for 2 today with a 141 average on the year. First pitch from Senga. He's a fastball driven into center field for a base hit. So another hit for Contreras as he tries to pick it up over the course of the year. Pulls the average up to 152. With a 443 OPS and a homer on the year. So, decent single. Good job by Contreras. Getting back into the flow of things. Here comes Donovan. So 2 on with nobody out for Brendan Donovan. This is what you want as a Cardinals fan. Donovan trying to keep that hit streak alive. Coming into the game with a 14-game hit streak. And a 370 average on the year. With a 958 OPS. Here's the first pitch from Senga. Strike 1, low and inside. Perfect pitch on the corner. And it's 0-1 on Brendan Donovan. He also has a 12-game hit streak against the Mets, personally. Here's the 0-1 to Donovan. Drops that forkball in the dirt, 1-1. Let's see if Donovan can extend a couple hit streaks and get a big hit for the Redbirds in this one. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss over the forkball. A perfect pitch once again by Senga. It looked like a fastball at the top of the zone and ended up below the zone where Donovan couldn't reach. Here's the 1-2 to Brendan Donovan with 2 on and nobody out. Senga, nope, we have a timeout. That one by the hitter. Here's the pitch to Brendan Donovan. The 1-2. Chopped foul, and we'll do it again. That one was a low fork ball. That time he was able to make contact. Senga did win the pitching triple crown with back in the KBO last season. Was not great in the playoffs, but you expect him to come right back this season. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Donovan. Forkball in the dirt, foul tip, and we'll stay right here. So Donovan just got a piece of that, and the ball was in the dirt. Still nobody out and 2 on for the Cardinals. Really didn't look like he hit it, but I guess he did. So great job by Donovan, somehow making contact. Here's the pitch. Popped foul, still 1-2. They already have Donovan logged as 0 for 3, even though he's just 0 for 2. Because they thought that was a strikeout, but it was not. So we'll see if they fix that, or if Donovan doesn't make them fix that. Here's the 1-2 pitch in the dirt, 2-2 now. So the graphic is all messed up now if you're working for Fox. It is 2-2. There is nobody out. Donovan is 0 for 2. Here is the pitch from Senga. Ground ball, right-hand side, and foul. So Donovan having a heck of an at-bat, staying alive against Senga, and that ghost fork. They finally fixed it up. He is 0 for 2. We'll see if he can take advantage of this great at-bat. With 2 runners on. The 2-strike pitch from Senga. He delivers, and it's fouled off of Donovan's foot. So Donovan doing everything he can to stay alive. Making Senga work here in the 6th with 2 runners on. Couple hit streaks on the line. Big moment in this one. The 2-2 pitch to Donovan. Goes down and smacks it up the middle, but it's a double play ball, as Angel was able to get over there and make the flip. That is Luis Angel Acuna over to shortstop Lindor for the double play. So 2 outs now. No hit streak extension for Donovan. And just the runner on third now for Nolan Arenado. It'll be Nootbaar on third. Arenado at the plate. First pitch. Hanging slider, fouled off. 0-1. Senga's ready to deliver once again. The 0-1 pitch from Senga to Arenado. He delivers. Way upstairs, 1-1. Nootbaar leading off third. Pitch is in the dirt with the fork ball, 2-1. So Senga being very careful with Arenado. Burleson does have a walk in this one. He would be the next hitter if Arenado is able to reach. The 2-1 pitch is up and in and hit Arenado in the hand. Hopefully he's okay. He will reach on a hit by pitch. Senga frustrated with that. He did not want to hit Arenado there. Does have a lot of wild pitches, so you do expect the command to go away every now and again. Definitely not intentional. As Marmol and some trainers look at Arenado's hand. Went right around the guard. It hit him right in the forearm, actually. So you expect that he'd be able to run the bases for sure, but you don't want him running the bases if he's not going to be able to do everything else. So now's the time to make the decision. They send Arenado off to first base, and that'll bring up Alec Burleson. So it looks like Arenado's good to go. He says he can still throw. So Burleson now with 2 on and 2 outs here in the 6th, as Senga's day is over. So they don't want to take that righty-lefty once again, even though he has the forkball to try to win those at-bats, and they go to the pen. It'll be a righty with a beard. I'm going to see if I can find who that is. Let's head over to the Mets. So in their bullpen, let's look at Reed Garrett. That's the guy I would suspect. It is Reed Garrett. Okay, sweet. So what is Reed Garrett up to? Big spot here. He is a right-handed pitcher. They're going with a righty so that the Cardinals don't pinch hit for Burleson. 82, 82nd percentile in pitching value this season. Has a 0 ERA. He's 0-1 somehow, though. Probably an extra inning run allowed. 10 strikeouts, a 1.04 whip. Good fastball. Great expected batting average and expected ERA. Does walk a lot of guys and gives up hard hit balls. So we'll see if that affects him. Let's see the pitch mix. Cutter, sinker, sweeper, and splitter. So those fastball movement. Hopefully he misses with one of those and it moves into the barrel of Burleson. First pitch to Burleson. Missed low. 1-0. So Reed Garrett. Second pitch to Alec Burleson. Ground ball to the right-hand side. Acuña's over, and he makes the play. So all 3 outs come off the glove of Luis Angel Acuña. And we're midway through the 6th. Still 2-0 Mets. So the Cardinals just stranding runners every inning. How many is that? That's 11 left on base. The team left on base sits at 5, it says. Feels like more than that. But it's leaving runners in scoring position that hurts the most, obviously. There's high leverage, 2 out runners in scoring position moments. Let's go back. Liberatore's at 69 pitches, and he's going to be facing Soto, so you expect him to at least do that at bat. Let's see if there's another sport I could do here. NFL, probably. So Matt Ryan, Jackson, Allen, Newton. The 77 Bears, is that? It's not. Oh, okay. Bengals. 88, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Was it Irvin or Smith or Aikman? Just Smith. Okay. That's Manning. The 97 Lions had an MVP. Was it Barry? Wow. 2021. That's going to be Rodgers. The Chiefs is Mahomes. The 0-2 Raiders, huh? I don't know. Is this Rivers or Breeze? It's probably Breeze. He probably has 2 of these. Nope. None of them. Who won it with the Saints then? Nobody, I guess. Wow. There's a defensive MVP, right? For the Giants. I'll come back to that. Let's get Brady. 2012 Vikings. It might be Peterson. Okay, there you go. I wonder if Favre was on here. Nope. Because Rodgers took his spot. Alrighty. First pitch from Liberatore to Soto is a foul ball, 0-1. Second pitch is a slider, hit the other way, 0-2. That one's also fouled off. The 0-2 pitch, slider below the zone, still 0-2. 1-2 now, to Soto. Slider outside part of the plate, through the hole for a base hit. Just squared that one up. Another hit on the ground for Soto. And he's 2 for 3 today. So lefty not going well. Here comes Alonso. You wonder if that's it for Liberatore or if he'll get to face Alonso again. He'll get to face him. First pitch is low with the curveball, 1-0. So the Cardinals playing to preserve the bullpen. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In the dirt with the slider, 2-0 now. Hope Liberatore can find the zone here. Playing Alonso to pole in the infield here. The 2-0 pitch. Popped up. Easy play in right field for Nootbaar. He drifts back and makes the catch. 1 out now in the 6th. Alonso frustrated with himself there. That'll bring up Brett Beatty, who came in for Vientos. Lefty. Missed outside with a slider, 1-0. He made a good play at third base. Good throw to the plate. Prevented a run from scoring with some good fielding. Now is ahead in the count, 1-0 on Liberatore. Here's the pitch to Beatty. Oh, instead I've got a delay here. Here's the 1-0. The runner goes. That was a strike. Did not get the call, and Soto safely steals second base. So Pozo, hopping outside the zone in order to field the pitch, ended up giving up a strike call and failing to catch Soto as he tried to steal the bag. It was definitely a strike, and it was a great throw to second, but Soto had too big of a jump on Liberatore. So Liberatore's going to have to work around this. Lefty against Beatty with Marte on deck. Shortstop right behind second. The first pitch after the stolen base is outside, 3-0. Might actually have a walk opportunity here. If we get a walk, then you'd probably go to a righty. Unless you think Liberatore can get Marte. The pitch is low and away, ball 4. So Liberatore struggling here. If you go to a righty, that righty will have to face Nimmo. Liberatore had 80 pitches in this one. Looks like they're keeping Liberatore in the game. For strike 1 on Marte. That was a slider. The 0-1 pitch to Starling Marte. Popped up. Shallow right field. Nootbaar charges in and makes the catch. Soto stays put at second. And there's 2 outs and 2 on for Brandon Nimmo. So Liberatore with an opportunity to get through the 6th inning here and stay within 2 runs of the Mets, headed into the late innings. The pitch from Liberatore. Low and away, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to Nimmo. Missed low and away with the slider, 2-0 now. 2 on, 2 outs here for Brandon Nimmo. Really need to get this out. Does not help to fall behind. Luis Torrens waits on deck. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a fly ball deep left field, but playable for Brendan Donovan at the track, and he makes the catch. So we're through 6, and Liberatore only gives up those 2 runs in the bad inning. 2-0 Mets after 6. So Reed Garrett was the pitcher for the Mets last inning. Sajacy, Gorman, and Pozo are due up for the Cardinals. Sajacy is 2 for 2 with a 1.127 OPS on the season. Let's see if they stick with Reed Garrett. It would make a lot of sense, given that he only threw 2 pitches. He is a right-handed pitcher. Just take a look at this here. There are a couple more guys I could probably get. Warner, yep. Marino. Lawrence? Is it Lawrence Taylor? Yeah, I think so. Can we get Taylor? There we go. Green? No. Rice never won it, so it must be Montana. Or I think Rice did win it. But I guess the 90s came after that. That was the 80s. No, well, I don't even know. Was he young? Great, it's frozen. It is young. All right, perfect. So we're all stop on that one. I think I'm done with that one. Probably not going to remember anybody else. Let's get back to the game. Yep, 1-1 from Garrett to Sajacy. So they stuck with Reed Garrett. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Thomas Sajacy. Missed low and away with the cutter. 2-1. I'm going to close out of this quiz for my computer's sake. And here's the 2-1 pitch from Garrett to Sajacy. Ground ball to left-hand side. Easy play for Beatty at third. And he makes the play. So 1 out in the 7th for Nolan Gorman. Octavio Dotel did play for the Mets Astros and Cardinals. Did pass away in the incident over in Santo Domingo. So the Fox broadcast is in his name today. 0-1 pitch. He did win the 2011 World Series on the Cardinals, I believe. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Gorman. Missed outside with the splitter, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Gorman. Low ball, easy grounder to Garrett. He'll flip it to Alonso, and there's 2 outs now in the 7th. That'll bring up Yo Helpozo. First pitch from Garrett to Pozo is fouled away. 0-1, I guess. It's tough to see in some of these angles. Here is the next pitch to Pozo. Hard hit ball to the right field side, but a great catch by Alonso on the broken bat hit there. And midway through the 7th, it's 2-0 Mets. So it'll be Torrens, Acuna, and Asokar in the bottom half of the 7th. All right, let's go over here. Actually, let's start by going over here. Who might be the Cardinals' bullpen option? Liberatore's probably done. He might have one more. In a game where you're trailing by 2, I would try to get Fernandez back out there, but they might go Swanson. Liberatore's at 85 pitches. You might just leave him in. Torrens, Acuna, and Asokar. Like, if you're going to go in the bullpen, I would go right now. If you plan on it in the 7th. If not, try to let him go all 3. But we'll see. I'll be back in 1 minute. First pitch was outside, and the second pitch was a slider at the top of the zone. 1-1 on Luis Torrens. The 1-1 pitch from Liberatore. Swing and a miss on the curveball at the bottom of the zone. 1-2. Here is the 1-2 pitch from Liberatore to Torrens. Above the zone, 2-2 now. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Torrens. Hard hit ball off the glove of Liberatore. Gorman adjusts and gets the out. So a great job by Liberatore to reach out and knock that ball down with his glove. It'll go down as a 1-4-3, I guess. So 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up Luis Angel Acuna, who's made some good plays at second base today. Here's the first pitch from Liberatore. Ground ball, foul, 0-1. Here's the second pitch. Liberatore running on steam here, the 92nd pitch of his outing. Fouled off of Acuna's foot, 0-2. I don't mind this from Marmol. Liberatore's been pretty good, although a little inconsistent in the later innings. But if you're going to give a guy every 5th day and he can give you 100 pitches, I'm not against letting him do it. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Acuna. Right down the middle with a fastball. He took it for strike 3. So he was guessing off speed there and had to take strike 3 against Liberatore. So Liberatore's been good except for that 2-run 3rd inning. Has 6 strikeouts on the day, 6 2/3 innings pitched. 5 hits, 1 walk. First pitch, inside on Azocar. Jose Azocar at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with no hits on the year. The 1-0 missed low, 2-0. So Azocar has not yet reached base this season. Has a 0 OPS. The 2-0 pitch to Azocar. In there for a strike, cutter at the bottom of the zone, 2-1. Fourth pitch, swing and a miss, slider at the bottom of the zone, and it's 2-2 on Azocar. Obviously, he's a very solid center fielder defensively, so there's some value in that, and has a good sprint speed. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Liberatore. Curveball a little low, pulled foul, still 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Azocar. Fastball up above the zone, fouled back, still 2-2. So good at bat so far from Azocar. Trying to reach base for the first time this season. Showing that it means something to him in this at bat. This will be pitch 100 from Liberatore in this one. He delivers. Ground ball through for a base hit to the opposite field, and there's 1 on now with 2 outs in the 7th. So Azocar gets his first hit of the year. And today must have been his first game of the season where he was hitting. That'll bring in John King, as it'll be the 4th time through the order for Liberatore, and Marmol doesn't want to see that. So 6 2/3 from Liberatore today on 100 pitches, 2 earned runs, is responsible for Azocar on first with 2 outs, as King will face Lindor and potentially Soto. So, I mean, we can look at what John King is up to. I believe he pitched recently, maybe as recently as yesterday. Does have a 5.06 ERA in 7 games, 5 1/3, 2 strikeouts, 2.06 whip. So not ideal. But does have the very good ground ball percentage. So hopefully he can put it in the zone. Does walk a lot of hitters and failed to strike out very many this year. If you look at last season, still walked a lot. Still struck out very few, but walked much fewer as well. So you hope he can put it in the zone. All right, John King in the game. First pitch to Francisco Lindor is a ground ball to the left-hand side. Arenado with a great pick, and that's the 3rd out of the 7th. So 1 pitch, 1 out for John King, and that closes the book on Matthew Liberatore's day. 6 2/3 with 2 earned runs. So Reed Garrett, he's through an inning and a third in just 11 pitches. Is probably done. It'll be lefty, lefty, righty for the Cardinals. Scott, Nootbaar, Contreras, then Donovan. So lefty, lefty, righty, lefty. So this is the time to go to a left-handed pitcher if you are the Mets. So let's find out who that'll be. We saw Minter a couple days ago. I wouldn't be surprised to see Minter again right now. Could also go to Stanek, but it's a little early for that. Or Danny Young. So I'm going to say it'll be Minter or Danny Young. Probably Minter. So while we're at it, let's just take a look at what Minter's done. Known for his time with the Braves, went to the rival Mets. 88th percentile pitching value this season, 97th on the fastball. Great whiff, great strikeout, and very low walk. So he's putting it in the zone and throwing it hard. Didn't have a qualified season last year. Was above average in 2023. Was great in 2022. That's what everyone remembers. And he has some pretty good stuff this season. Came out of Texas A&M, famous for that bullpen video where people prank called the bullpen. Said, get Minter warming up. And they called him down from the dugout. It will be Minter. So there you go. Texas A&M grad. Known for that hilarious video. I believe he's been interviewed about it and said he was thankful for the attention. Kind of put his name on the map. before becoming an excellent player at the big league level. Here's the first pitch from Minter to Baker. It's outside, 1-0. So the Cardinals are probably going to do a double switch here. Bringing in Baker for Victor Scott. So they could bring in Walker maybe. Here's the pitch. Up above the zone, 2-0. Here is the 2-0 pitch to Lucan Baker. Outside, 3-0 now on Baker. So Minter struggling to find the zone early on in this 8th inning. This could also be a pinch hit for Baker and then go to Ciani route by the Cardinals, which would be a very good idea. We'll see. Here's the 3-0. Inside, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk for Lucan Baker to start the 8th. And that'll bring on Lars Nootbaar to face A.J. Minter this inning. Molina and Lindor, manager and captain for Puerto Rico. Pujols and Polanco are the managers and bench coaches for the Dominican squad in the World Baseball Classic coming up in 2026, so that'll be exciting. Baker comes out of the game and they pinch run Ciani, so there's that. You will see Ciani in center field next inning. Makes a lot of sense from Marmol. I like the idea. Here's the first pitch to Nootbaar. Fastball outside, missed by a mile, 1-0. Nootbaar's already walked in this game, back in the 6th. The 1-0 pitch from Minter. In there for a strike with the cutter, 1-1. Fast runner and Michael Ciani on first. You wonder if he'll try to steal. Probably not with a lefty on the mound. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Lars Nootbaar. Ground ball. Ciani was on the move, and that'll prevent a double play. And Nootbaar moves him over to second with a ground out to second base. So with one out, Ciani now is on second base for Wilson Contreras. Cardinals lucky that worked out the way it did. Although Ciani probably had that base stolen. Now here comes Contreras, who's 1 for 3, did have a single last time up. First pitch, perfectly placed on the outside corner, 0-1. Contreras continues to get some bad breaks. After Minter was struggling to find the zone, he throws a perfect pitch to start off the at-bat here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Low and in, 1-1. So Minter missed with that one. That wasn't a pitch that Contreras ever thought was a strike. And it's an even count, 1-1. Ciani on second. Here's the pitch. Low once again with the changeup, 2-1 on Contreras. That one was in the dirt. Another one you'd never really expect to be a strike. Brendan Donovan waits on deck. Here's the 2-1 pitch from A.J. Minter to Contreras. Instead, he steps off and checks on Ciani. Nothing doing there. Still 2-1 on Contreras. And the pitch. Up and away with the fastball, 3-1 now on Wilson. So it'll have to be a good one here with the Cardinals' best hitter on deck. This is the first time in the game that Contreras didn't swing at the first pitch, the 3-1. In there for a strike, a perfectly placed cutter up and in. So a couple of perfect pitches and then 3 non-competitive balls from Minter in this at-bat. Truly a wild performance against Contreras. Let's see which version of Minter we get on this next pitch. Ciani on second, the 3-2 to Contreras. Inside, ball 4. So that was a cutter. Just moved in off the plate, and Contreras will take his base. So that'll bring up Brendan Donovan as the pitching coach goes out to speak to AJ Minter. They do have the righty Buto getting ready in the bullpen. The ump going out there to try to end this infield meeting on the mound. We'll see now if this was just a coy strategy by the Mets to get their bullpen ready, or if they're going to have to throw a pitch to Donovan. Might have just been stalling to try to get your guy ready, but still pitch to Donovan with the lefty, and then go righty-righty against Arenado. That's what I expect. Here's the first pitch from Minter to Brendan Donovan, with 2 guys on. Strike at the top of the zone with the cutter. Another perfectly placed pitch from Minter. And it's 0-1. The Cardinals are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position today. But it's Donovan this time. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball. Shortstop goes to second for the only out of that ground ball. So the Cardinals now have runners at the corners with 2 outs for Nolan Arenado. And the Mets will probably go to the righty out of the pen in this situation. Let's see. So Minter was able to get Donovan. Looks like they like what he's doing now. And ball's back in play. So it will be Minter versus Arenado, not a righty. That's an interesting strategy. We'll see what happens. They're playing Arenado to pole. Here's the first pitch from Minter to Arenado. Outside 1-0. That was a 4-seam. It's unlikely that they'll pitch around him, even though the Cardinals really rely on Arenado to get this hit. Here is the 1-0 pitch from Minter. Just below the zone of the changeup, 1-1. Arenado swung over that one, looking for the fastball. I like the idea from Arenado. Swinging out of his shoes. Trying to get the Cardinals back in it with 2 outs in the 8th. The 1-1 pitch from Minter. Instead, he checks on Donovan. So Donovan's hit streak is likely over, barring some extra innings. He is 0 for 4 in this one. The 1-1 pitch from Minter is up and away for ball 2. So it's 2-1 on Arenado. That one looked pretty good. Unfortunate no call for the Mets. Not a great framing job by the catcher. The 2-1 pitch to Arenado. Upstairs, 3-1 now on Nolan. Burleson is scheduled to hit next. Arenado has only seen 1 pitch in the zone this at-bat, and it was not the one he swung at. The 3-1 pitch to Arenado. Upstairs, ball 4, so the bases will be loaded with 2 outs for Alec Burleson. Cardinals already used Lucan Baker as a pinch hitter, If they have Jordan Walker, wouldn't be a terrible idea to go to him, but I guess they'd probably rather have Burleson lefty-lefty than Walker righty-righty, but we'll see right now. They will go Burleson. So here we go, Minter versus Burleson. First pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Lindor makes the running play and gets Burleson by a step, and that will end the Cardinals' half of the 8th. Still 2-0 Mets midway through the 8th. So Cardinals strand 2 more and are at risk of being shut out at Citi Field. That's tough. Very big spot right there. Soto, Alonso, and Beatty. That's 2 lefties and 1 righty. So the Cardinals could probably stick with King. He threw 1 pitch and got an out last inning. It was a long delay. So if the Cardinals don't go with King, you would be looking at probably Romero or Leahy or Swanson. A lot of good options. Let's go back to King, as he's the most likely option for the Cardinals. Last season, he was an above-average pitcher. Not great on the breaking stuff. Average with the off-speed. 98th percentile in ground ball percentage. Rare that you have a team fail to deliver as often as the Cardinals have in this series. A lot of runners left on base, a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position. No hits in those spots, as King gets a ground ball from Soto for out number 1. Second pitch of the inning is outside, 1-0 on Pete Alonso. Alonso's 1 for 3 with that double off the wall. King misses outside with a sinker, 2-0. So Lindor is 0 for 4 today. Soto will probably finish 2 for 4. And here is the 2-0 pitch to Alonso. In there for a strike, 2-1. All of the scoring came in the 2-run third inning for the Mets in this one. One of the big plays in that inning was the RBI double for Pete Alonso as he takes strike 2. Here's the 2-2. Fouled the other way. Still 2-2. 1 out, nobody on. The 2-2 pitch, crushed by Alonso deep to left field. That was a hanger, and he sent it to the second deck. 3-0 Mets. So Alonso has a double and a home run in this one. That is his second RBI of the game, 6th home run of the season, and he continues to play like an NL MVP so far this season. .443 feet, 113 miles an hour off the bat at a 25-degree launch angle. Might be the nail in the coffin of this one, but it'll still be a save situation for Diaz in the 9th. Second pitch, ground ball to Arenado at third, and Beatty is retired. 2 outs now in the 8th, as Alonso does his own curtain call. Absolutely smoked that one. It was the exact type of pitch he likes to see, and he turned on it. First pitch to Marte is a strike. Change up on the outside corner, 0-1. Alonso is third all-time for the Mets in home runs, as Marte fouls off a sinker, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch from King to Marte. Hit hard the other way, past the glove of Contreras for a single. So that'll bring up Brandon Nimmo with 1 on and 2 outs in this 8th inning. Cardinals just have 3 hits in this one, and yet so many base runners. A lot of walks drawn by the lineup today. None of them have come around to score, and the Mets have capitalized on their chances when they have them. First pitch to Nimmo. As the runner goes, great throw, but he is safe at second base. So Pozo with another good throw. Marte with a better jump. And there's a runner on second now with 2 outs. Ooh, it looks like he got him, though. We're going to need to see the replay. Nice catch by Sajasi, the tag. Yeah, he's out. I would challenge that. Let's see if the Cardinals will challenge this. It was not a perfect throw, but it was a good enough throw. And the tag definitely got him before he reached second base. So Marte will have a caught stealing. And the Mets' chances will be over this game, assuming the Cardinals can prove this tag was applied. Does he apply a tag? Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe not. If you're Pozo there, you'd rather that one be a little bit straighter coming out of the arm, straight to second base to get the runner where he's headed instead of throwing it behind the runner a little bit. But if Sajasi was able to apply a tag, Marte was definitely out. Let's see. No tag was applied. He's safe. Alrighty. So Pozo fails to stop the runner there. And Marte will be in scoring position with 2 outs. That was my first read, but it looked like on one of those angles, Sajasi might have applied the tag, but I guess not. The pitch. Chopped foul, 0-2 now. The 0-2 pitch from John King to Brandon Nimmo. Chopped back. Foul once again. Still 0-2. Looks like Diaz is warming up for the Mets, but so is someone else. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Check swing. He did go, so Nimmo strikes out. John King gets out of it, and it's 3-0 Mets after 8. The Mets are definitely going to their bullpen in the 9th. You have to assume it's just going to be Diaz, as not going to Diaz yesterday is what allowed the Cardinals to tie the game. But that blown save just resulted in a Lindor walk-off homer. It will be Sajacy, Gorman, and Pozo due up for the Cardinals, down by 3 in the 9th. The 4th hitter of the inning would be Siani. Cardinals do have Walker available. I don't know if they have any lefties. The available players are Walker. Yeah, it's just going to be Walker and Pajes. So you expect the Cardinals to just stick with who they have, except for maybe Walker hitting for Siani at that 9 spot, if it gets there. Let's go ahead and grab Diaz's stats, although we did look yesterday. He is coming in. Diaz was very, very good in 2022. Had a rough ending to the year in 2025, but he only pitched in 8 games back then. Doesn't have a great stat line this season either. No, I'm talking about this season, sorry. He didn't have a great season last year, although he was good with a 3.52 ERA. I meant this season, he has a 5.87 in 8 games. Last season he was above average. Still had all of the great underlying numbers. $20 saves, 54 games, and in 22, there you go. Best in expected ERA, best in expected batting average, best in fastball velocity. Well, not best, but he was best in strikeout percentage, whiff percentage. Just a few seasons ago, and now he's in to face the Cardinals in 2025. It will be Sajacy versus Diaz, and we're back. First pitch is inside for ball 1 with the slider. If you're the Cardinals, strategy here is simple. Reach base. Doesn't matter how. Second pitch, up and in, 2-0. In the 9th inning, a base runner is as good as a homer until the tying run steps to the plate. 4-seam misses outside, 3-0 on Thomas Sajacy. So Diaz will have to figure it out. Still trying to find the command here in the 9th. The 3-0 is in there for a strike with the 4-seam, 3-1 on Sajacy. So able to avoid a walk there. But here's the 3-1. Ooh, he chases a slider low and away, 3-2. That was greedy from Sajacy. A really, really bad decision there. As he could have taken ball 4. Instead, the count is full. Against Edwin Diaz. Here's the 3-2 pitch. In there for strike 3, a fastball right down the middle, and there's 1 out in the 9th. So Sajacy bails out Diaz, who could have had a walk. And this would be a way different feeling with Nolan Gorman coming up to the plate than it is right now. You really need to make Diaz beat you directly, and that is not what Sajaci did on that 3-1 pitch, as he gets a terrible call for strike one on Gorman. He expected another slider, instead got a fastball. There's a slider to Gorman, missed outside, 1-1. Cardinals still hoping you can get Gorman on base here. Just need a couple base runners. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a pop foul, 1-2. A fine at bat from Gorman so far. But he is still behind in the count, 1-2, with nobody on. Diaz gets set. Here's the 1-2. Fouled back, still 1-2 on Gorman. The 1-2 pitch. Right down the middle, fouled away, still 1-2. Gorman hitting .227 on the season. The 1-2 pitch bounces low and in, 2-2. Gorman trying to reach base any way he can. It would be Pozo on deck. The 2-2 pitch is in the dirt, 3-2 now on Gorman. Let's hope that Gorman can stay alive here. Here's the 3-2. Nice foul ball on a slider in the zone. Still 3-2 on Gorman. Interesting that Diaz would throw a slider into the zone in that spot. He's thrown mostly sliders to Gorman, as Gorman's typically better against the fastball. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Gorman goes down and chases a slider. And the Cardinals hitters have now foregone 2 walks, instead striking out twice. It would have been great to have those base runners, but you can't blame Gorman, as it was a 3-2 pitch. You got to protect in that spot. So JC just had an inexperienced at-bat. When a guy can't find the zone, don't give him any help. 2 outs, nobody on, 1-0. Popped foul by Pozo, 1-1. So JC knew it though. 1-1 pitch at the top of the zone, swung through, 1-2 on Pozo, and the Cardinals are down to their final strike in this one. Diaz with a chance to get a save. Steps off. Crowd on their feet in New York. The 1-2 to Pozo, ground ball. Lindor's there. And the Mets win it 3-0. So the Mets take a 3-0 series lead over the Cardinals and will go for the sweep tomorrow. Pete Alonso's the MVP of this one. RBI double back in the 3rd and a solo shot in the 8th. Although another fantastic performance from Kodai Senga helped out as well. Cardinals are shut out with just 3 hits in this one. A lot of hard hit balls, a lot of base runners, but good defense and good pitching from the Mets to get out of those situations. And we will see you guys next time.